Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, bringing you an expanding library of education with even more ways to sharpen your trading skills. Access new online courses, insightful webcasts, articles, engaging videos, and more, all curated just for traders. Plus, guided learning paths with content designed to fit your unique interests. No sifting to find exactly what you need, so you can spend your time learning to trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading. Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Friday night from the forum, and tonight we're talking about trades, takes, and truth bombs. It's that part of the off season where everybody's pulling their hair out, following the narratives, and trying to build their dynasty team. So that's why we're here. Drop your questions in the chat. We're here for you tonight, and let's party. What's up, everybody? Got a crew in the house tonight. I got my guy Joe, my guy Chris, and Steve. Been up since 2 a.m. and still here to party with us tonight. Appreciate you, man. What's going on? Like, I'm seeing stuff on Twitter about Deebo Samuel being fat and slow. I'm seeing Anthony Richardson out there working the hips since he can't use his shoulder, and Nick Chubb is going to the Texans. And Chris, I see you're wearing it. I see you're sporting the Texans hat. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Are you psyched?
For the season, psyched. For fantasy football purposes, probably not psyched, just because I don't think he's going to make kind of a impact. But for the season, I am psyched. I'm super psyched for him. I think when you add a running back like that, in that depth, it just really propels the Texans. And they're trying to go all in right now. So.
Top 10 Brick House. My wife's favorite player is Nick Chubb. She's a big Browns fan, so we've been at half mast all day for the GOAT. But it's a good landing spot for him. I feel like it was either there or Chicago. Like there was kind of like not a lot of options left.
Yeah, I like Nick Chubb's one of my favorite players. Just a good dude. He's a hoss. He's got some bad reps, some knee issues, but he's came back. He's still been relevant. And I'm watching the practice reps, and they don't look bad. They got two old fogies in Chubb and Mixon. Doesn't mean they can't be relevant, because both of them can. Like Nick Chubb will manhandle a linebacker trying to come after CJ Stroud. So it's like I'm pumped about it. He's still a cheap buy, but Steve, for you, Nick Chubb right now, what is the price? Like, you got a little bit of narrative, you got a little bit of grass. So maybe if you're not in a win now, maybe you don't hang on to him. What do you think that you can pull from Nick Chubb on the market right now?
You don't have to really give up anything for him. You probably have to go through your waiver wires at this point in some cases. I think depending on how deep your league is, and kind of where everyone's mindset is with Chubb, with the injuries that he's had, a lot of people have probably just pushed him along and they're ready to put him in a wheelchair and send him off to the sunset. But like you mentioned, you got Joe Mixon there, another guy who's walking around in a cane, getting ready to head towards his retirement. Both those guys, I think, are a good mix. You could keep both of them healthy throughout the season. I think Chubb can end up being like the goal line back, utilizing those spaces. So for me, if you're in a league that's got 4 rounds, maybe you give up a fourth and just, hey, let me just put a little feeler out there. Maybe you get rid of, maybe some of your old vets yourself, maybe an old wide receiver that you're trying to move on. You just need a little bit of depth at the running back position. I think of players like Christian Kirk on the Houston Texans. You can move on to a receiver like that. He's got some value right now because of all of the injuries that are going on in Houston, with Dell. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. I wouldn't give up a lot. I don't expect a lot. Just like anything else, everyone's in shorts. Everyone looks great right now, except for Debo apparently, but I'm okay with that. So, but yeah, I wouldn't give up more than anything but maybe a fourth if you're talking draft capital at this point.
Well, we'll see how it pans out. We got Ham Sandwich in the chat. Dev, we got Young Pro in the chat. Yo, appreciate you coming. We got Woody the King there, and Grindberg. What's up, fellas? Thanks everybody tuning in. Drop your questions in. Remember, tonight is your show. Tonight is about answering your questions, your dynasty questions. If you have any, if you have any trades that you're thinking about doing, you're thinking about moving, make sure you drop those in. We are happy to help. McBrodad, what's up, gents? What's up, McBrodad? What a cool name. Top of the morning to you. All right, so Nick Chubb, the other old fogey, and he's not really that old, but has found a place and caused utter chaos in the world for RJ Harvey lovers is J.K. Dobbins to the Broncos.
Boy,
Joe, how does it make you feel? Are you psyched? Are you taking some Dobbins? Do you think it, or are you just glad that you can get RJ Harvey maybe a little bit cheaper?
So I am on the camp that RJ Harvey is being way overhyped right now. I think he had some good underlying metrics. I had him as like a 4th round pick coming into the draft. I'm obviously a couch GM and not a real one, so take that for what you will. But I think a lot of people are putting weight into the Sean Payton narrative of being an offensive genius, which, I mean, he does, but having a Hall of Fame quarterback for most of the time he was in New Orleans also helps. And having players like Kamara, Michael Thomas, which he conveniently compares all of his current players to, all of the best guys that he had in the Saints. It's like, are they actually that, or are those just people that you liked? I'm not really sure. So I think you do get Harvey at a little bit more of a discount. Dobbins is going to see the field, though. Ultimately, who does this impact? Audric Estime. It doesn't look good for him. He was somebody that I was moderately excited about when he came out and got drafted to Denver just because of the murkiness of that situation, but it feels like he doesn't really have a role there. So does it change a lot for Harvey? I don't think so, but Dobbins can ball. I mean, this has been the line of view for weeks now. Dobbins never been less than 5 yards per carry going into like these seasons. He's coming off of a strong season last year when he was on the field. So I think it's a great fit, that Denver offense. I mean, they still are trying to figure out what's going on, who's going to be their wide receiver too. But from the running game, having that offensive line, like, I mean, if you're going to downgrade from like the Chargers setup that he had, I mean, Denver is pretty solid kind of like fallback to go into.
The thing that I like the most about it is we've seen Dobbins really struggles to make it through a whole season, right? Like that's the struggle. And so I think it just gives Harvey a little bit of time before having to be rushed into some kind of full crazy workload. Well, and I know for fantasy, we're like, oh, this sucks. Like we really want that, but at the same time, you're going to get Harvey at towards the end of the season, right? Because Dobbins is going to get tired. He's going to get a little bit banged up. It's just kind of his nature, right? And so I like the move. I think that it makes my, if I feel like I'm confident for the playoffs, I think Harvey is a grab. I like that it definitely not completely shifted his value, but it did make it more feasible. Like it went from like really high to like, okay, I can stomach this now. You know what I mean?
Here's the other thing I'll say about Harvey too, is that a strength that he does not possess right now, which isn't uncommon for a rookie running back, is pass protection, right? Dobbins is a pretty solid pass protector. You don't really think of him as like a pass catching back, but if they're going to be running like play action, doing these things, like you want somebody that you feel comfortable with. Sleaze, what's up, dude? So I think having that veteran presence that can kind of take on that role and not force Harvey to be kind of like this all-encompassing back year one, I think that's huge, especially when Bo Nix is going to be entering his sophomore season. So it's a really big one for him there.
Sleaze in the chat, what's up, boys? Hey, if you want to follow some good content, go check out Sleaze over on his channel.
Best ball good.
He's a good dude. I like supporting good people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all about my show or anything like that. I like supporting good people. I appreciate him. Came on the show last week and actually refrained from dropping a cuss word, which I'm really surprised. But if you like it a little bit on edge, go talk to my guy. Dev says, I'm stacked at wide receiver in my Dynasty League. Have Chase, CD, Rice, JMO, JSN, and Rome. Sounds great. Desperately need an upgrade at running back. I can imagine if that's your wide receiver core. Who of those guys should I be moving? And any running back you would ask for. So I have my take. I'm going to save it to the end. Chris, start us off. Out of those wide receivers, who are you looking to move, or who are you willing to move? And then second that with who you might target with that player.
If I had to pick one, it would probably be Rice. If I had to pick one of those guys there, and who I'd be targeting, I would say for running back, I really like Chase Brown. That's a running back that I like a lot this season. He's young. He's got tons of upside, all the opportunities in the world. I would say if you could trade Rice for Brown, pull it. That's the only one. It's the only one I kind of see there, man.
Is Rice enough for Chase Brown? The Chase Brown hype is a little wild.
You're probably going to have to. Yeah, you'll have to add something in there. You probably have to.
I think it would be enough, especially with the reports that he's not going to get suspended this year. I think redraft that's the big concern. But Dynasty, Rice popped off. You have Worthy that showed up at the end of the season, but that was after Rice already came on. If he's sliding into that Kelsey role, we know that Patrick loves that a lot. I think I would trade it. Just know, if you look at Chase Brown and going into the offseason, it's he's not even going to be the starter next season.
Well, you're the guy that I want to trade with, okay? Because I am also on the move the Rashee Rice on that. Out of those, everybody has a high probability of significant volume and potential there. And Rice, whether the suspension comes now, whether the suspension comes next year, whether it never comes, there's somehow he is still hyped to a fourth. I've even seen a third round wide receiver, in drafts, and I'm like, what the heck? You look at the people that you can get, even and I know CMC's on the rise there, but you could pull a strong running back, especially if I'm trading with you, Joe. If I'm trading I would trade
for Chase Brown, but somebody that came to mind for me, I wonder if you could pull a Travion Henderson. He has the capital. He's in this split timeshare thing with Ramondre this year. Dude, if you can play up the whole hey, Rice isn't getting suspended and you can flip him for Travion there, I'm a big Travion guy. He was a top 4 RB for me in this process. I'm not worried about him in a mixed backfield situation. I think he overtakes that backfield. Bro, but I would rather him than Chase Brown.
I would dish him for Travion. I would dish him for Judkins. Both of them are going after him in startup or redraft leagues. I would take both of those over him. It's to me, that's the easiest to move off of. Steve, to digress here, is there anybody else in there that you're looking to move outside of Rice?
I would have moved JSN. I think he's got the strongest value there that I think could lessen a little bit. I'm not sure how Sam Darnold's going to be. And I'd move JSN because of his name and his value right now for a player like Achane or Breece Hall or something. Get a good running back. I don't want Chase Brown. Give me a good running back.
You could probably pull Breece Hall for Rashee Rice. It's oh god. I would say
you probably could, yeah.
Surprisingly, the hype is probably more for Rashee Rice than JSN, which is absolutely crazy.
I don't know about that. I think the wide receiver one season last year with all of the vacated targets in Seattle. I don't know.
People are Sam Darnold muddies the pie, bro. Nobody's going, oh, Sam Darnold's gonna feed by receiver.
But no one would say that about Geno Smith either.
But true. Geno did it
Gino's accurate. I wanted Gino in Pittsburgh. Let me tell you, I would have traded the 3rd round for him. That man can put on some dots.
Look, so there you go, Dev. Go get you a Breece. Go get you a Chase Brown. Go get one of those rookies. That's juicy. If I can get Quishon Judkins or Travion Hill, give me one of those Ohio State running backs for Rashee Rice. I will do it right now. I will do it like Dynasty League, win now, rebuild. I don't care. It's done. Send it, accepted.
Just get Efton Chisholm, and then it fixes your wide receiver room.
It might actually. Who knows? Like, you might get the same production. Dev said, "Oh, Albert, what's up, fellas?" Dev said he's taking notes. Sleaze laughing about the joke earlier. And then Mike said, "Cowboys RB1, and why is it Miles Sanders?"
That's crazy, Steve. You gotta take ownership of this, man.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate the Miles Sanders play at all. I know, he got, I don't know what happened in Carolina. But I actually think
it's going to happen again.
I think it's Javonte Williams. I know everyone's all hyped up about Blue. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Realistically, I think Javonte becomes the guy for them this season. I think Miles Sanders gets let go before season starts anyway. So.
Wow. That's hot.
So from RB1 to cut list.
Yeah.
So if somebody is buying into the narrative that Miles Sanders will be the starter there, sell Greinberg. I'll take a 3rd. Just give me a 3rd for Miles Sanders. It's a little more than I think it merits, but I think it's enough that you might do it. I like it. I like, Javonte. We really haven't gotten a clear season of Javonte, and he does have moments where he pops a little bit. I'm with you on Blue. I think Blue's overhyped. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Blue, but it feels like he already has Eddie Lacy syndrome.
That's crazy. Isn't he supposed to be like a speedy, like scat back?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's definitely put on some weight there.
Dallas food's good, man. I can't blame him. It was amazing down there when I lived in Texas. You hit that Texas State Fair, it'll change your life.
Oh my gosh. Texas State Fair. My guy's eating giant pretzels and funnel cakes with, powder all over it. We got Paul Vo in the chat. Dynasty roster cut. Oh, I hate cuts. Cuts break my heart.
I love it. Bye-bye. It's like
Marvin
a good breakup.
Coker, Keaton Mitchell, Will Shipley. Who's on your cut list? Go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I'm out on Jalen Coker. That is one guy I just don't see where he's going to have any room to even perform on that wide receiver room. I don't like Marvin Mims, and I'll get to that later with Bo Nix. That's a hot take. I would say keep Will Shipley, and I know that's crazy, even though Barkley's there, but I like the guy. That guy is such a baller. He just is going to need opportunity. And, Joe, we will get into Bo Nix. I will get into Bo Nix.
No, I don't care about Bo Nix. Why are we keeping a white running back over Marvin Mims?
He said, for the love of God, don't cut Mims.
No, I'm sorry. If you can't beat out Cortland Sutton as the wide receiver one, I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Hold on a second. Don't you come on this show and defame Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is the gift to all fantasy players because he is the cheapest wide receiver one you could ever ask for, and has consistently been cheap because every year they go, oh, he's going to fall off, and somehow he still finds relevance as long as he's healthy. Look, I'm gonna. Not that I want to be confrontational here, but I'm gonna. I think Mims has a shot, dude. Like I know. Look, here's the thing. Whether you believe in Bo Nix or not, Bo Nix is not afraid to chunk the football, and Mims only needs one catch to be fantasy relevant in any given game.
Sure. He's a great best ball play. I think it's going to be hard to put him in a lineup and feel confident about it. Like, he's going to need to take like the Rashid Shaheed step that he had at the beginning of last year before the injury, because it's like realistically, like in championship week last year, were you going to put in Marvin Mims? Probably not.
No, and the other part of here is it's pathway to relevance, right?
Sure,
Like
yeah.
I agree, Coker's wide receiver 3 at best, 4 on that roster. You know, it's hard for him to get in. Keaton Mitchell is not. He's like RB3. Like we're you got injuries before he's even close to relevance. And then Will Shipley is probably the closest as RB2 behind Barkley, but Barkley's going to get touches. You're really hanging on for injury. Marvin Mims could be wide receiver 2 at least for that squad, but he's going to be in the front 3. I mean, you think he's going to fall as far as wide receiver 4?
I mean, it's going to be interesting.
You got Sutton, you got Pat Bryant, you got Troy Franklin, who's already got that rapport with Knicks.
Like, Vele.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think that he's just got he'll see enough snaps to pop.
If you're in a league that gives, points for special teams, maybe has a little more value. I'll give you Mims. You give me, Turpin, and I'll take it out all day. That's essentially the player. That's what he.
No way. No,
I would want Mims over Turpin.
I'm just. I don't know. I guess Mims. I'm just kind of more shocked that you guys are really hyped on Mims. I guess maybe
I'm not. It's not that I'm hyped on Mims. It's that Mims.
I'm the most hyped out of the 4 on Mims.
Like it's. And he's young, like he's still got a ton of career around, for him. Like all these other guys, like we know the life expectancy of running back. Will Shipley is already had years. We know that it's not like he's going to get to play till he's 30. Mims could play till he's 30. Like you just have a lot of opportunity, a lot of time, and big catch role. So like. I'm not with Dev here. I'm not saying Mims is wide receiver 1 this year.
Oh, no.
But like in a dynasty play, I'm in. And you got D-Walk in the chat. Like he's free. Even in deep leagues, Mims is free. And he is. But like out of those, if I've got to cut 3, I just think I just like my chances with Mims. My second would be Will Shipley. I'll give you that.
I think that Will Shipley gets overtaken by Quadzilla. He don't got big enough legs to be running back on that team.
No, Shipley's good, man. If you watch him just in the little snippets and the opportunities he's had, he's pretty dynamite. Now it's going to be hard, obviously, because of Barkley. I'm with that. I get that part, but I don't know, man. That kid's pretty decent. I'm not saying that. Listen, that guy's not going to be like a running back 5 here, but that's not what I'm saying. But
RB15.
Yeah, like if I'm using Dynasty for that, I mean, no, I gotta go Shipley, man. I know that's crazy, but
look, and it's okay. We're only off by one spot, one player. So there's your real debate here is Mims and Shipley, and it's just maybe you just go to your position of need. If you're weak at running back, keep Shipley. If you're stacked at running back, go Mims. There you go. Everybody's happy. Nobody got elbowed in the face. We're all right. All right, so remember, if you tuned in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop your questions in the chat. Tonight, we are here to answer your questions to help you win your leagues, help you get set up in the offseason. While everybody else is signing off and taking a break, you're making moves, and it's the best time to make moves because you follow the narratives. Chubb gets signed, you got an opportunity. JK gets signed, you got an opportunity. Debo looks fat, you got an opportunity. I saw 2 different narratives on Debo today. I saw he's slow and chunky, and everybody's like, what the heck's going on? And then I saw another one come out from I forget who it was, a big analyst, and there was like, Debo's abilities in this offense he's gonna have so much opportunity, and it was like booming him, and so just. But when those narratives happen, like that's the point, is like the narratives carry your ability to move at buy low or sell high points, like Mims right now is apparently free. If he has, catches 2 40 or 60-yard bombs in the first 2 games for touchdowns, well, then all of a sudden he's not going to be free anymore. So get him while he's free. If Saquon's knee blows out, well, Will Shipley's not free anymore. So, okay. So while we're waiting on some more questions, let's get into a little bit of the buy sell market. Okay, we're talking about that. We talked about Debo. There's some players that right now I think that you have the opportunity to grab, and there's some that I think you have the opportunity to sell. Before we get into that, we're gonna hit Dynasty Fantasy Football Helpers question. Rank these 1-2 turn receivers: Amon-Ra, BTJ, Nico, Drake London, AJ Brown.
Sheesh. Need to write this down.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Actually, I'll just take a picture of it. That's easier.
Who wants to start off? Let's say it says, assuming you get to draft 2 of them. So you're at the turn.
Pick
you
2.
get to draft 2.
Let me see. So we had Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas Jr., Nico, Drake London, AJ Brown. I'll take my number 1 is Nico. I'm still thinking about number 2.
I know who I'm taking. So I'm going Amon-Ra. I still got to go Amon-Ra. The Sun God is who he is. After that, I'm actually, maybe you call me crazy, Drake London's behind him. Brian Thomas, Nico, and AJ. That's how I'm ranking them.
I'm going Amon-Ra, Nico, Brian Thomas, London, Brown.
I don't believe in Nico. I love Nico, but I don't believe in him.
Wait a minute.
You know what it is, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to do this to you because I'm a huge.
Remember the Alamo boys.
I'm a huge Stroud fan, and I hyped him up so big, and I drafted him, and I traded him a lot last year.
Yeah.
I worry for Stroud. I really do.
Why?
And there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's maybe it's the Texans' curse. I don't know.
Maybe it's that they traded their left tackle and they already had a bad offensive line.
Oh,
that doesn't help. But
we can get into a whole Texan show.
But there's something
I've got all that ready to roll.
I don't know what happened, but last year something I actually got rid of Stroud for a few really solid players because he's still got that solid brand, and I was not disappointed with my return. And do I still think he's got value? Yeah, I don't know. There's something that I don't know what I saw last year. It worries me, and it worries me for Nico. Nico's a lot of injury issues. He had one amazing year, and people forgot that he's had injury concerns. And I would take Drake London right now over Nico. Like, I think Drake London amazing last season, and give me a full year of Penix. Oh, I love some Penix.
Yeah, I don't have big Penix energy. I think he's fine, but I think what happened in that last game of the season is like very greatly skewing how they think the Penix London thing's going to go. I just think we had a full season. We had a good start to the season with Nico and Stroud. That's still his guy. Amon-Ra, I'm with y'all. Like, he's super consistent. Like, losing Ben Johnson doesn't really make him irrelevant at all.
But do you think, Chris, the fact that the Houston Texans drafted wide receiver pretty heavily and pretty good draft capital this year tells me a lot about how they feel about that room?
No.
Well, I mean, it's really Nico and then nothing else. Like, they needed wide receivers.
Yeah, me and Tyler were started like for him if they didn't draft anybody.
I think it tells you a lot about Stephon Diggs being at the age he was and injured on early.
Well, yeah.
I think it also tells you the fact that Tank Dell is and I love Tank Dell. I think he is a boom and bust guy. And what I mean by bust is he's got to stay healthy. Your issues last year in Houston were due to the fact that you had a very stale offensive play caller who was obviously booted out. Now he's the passing game coordinator in Miami. And, of course, their offensive line, which was horrendous, which they've now addressed with the new offensive line coach. I think this year you're going to see Stroud much like 2023, not 2024. He's got
everything he needs. There's no reason we shouldn't, you know?
Yeah. I think they invested heavily. I mean, if you could even say that too, to a sense, well, then why sign Nick Chubb? You have Joe Mixon, who obviously a lot of people were out on the prior year because of his age, and he balled out in Houston. I think that's what contenders do is they start collecting these pieces, and Houston does this phenomenally. They sign these players to a one-year deal. Let me see what kind of gas is left in that tank, and if you produce, they'll sign you for a 2 or 3 year deal. Stephon Diggs. I had people that said that was a horrible move that the Texans just. Why? It's a 1 year deal. If he sucks, he's just cut. He's gone. It cost you nothing. And look, he's gone. And what did they do? They went back and Nick Caserio is a very aggressive general manager. He is going to make, I think he made the most trades this year, but any GMs. I could be wrong, but I believe that's correct. And then he went and drafted back-to-back wide receivers who are pretty dang good. No, Houston's all in. They're trying to win. But Nico, no, Nico's still a baller in my eyes, Steve. I'm sorry.
I was able to get rid of Stroud for Josh Allen and Rashee Rice.
That's crazy.
that is crazy.
That's crazy.
You used car sold somebody is what you did. You used car sold somebody.
So that's how you got your spot at Fantasy Football Vice Network. You on that used car stuff too.
Look, hey, we got to keep moving. We got a bunch of people in the chat. And Dynasty Fantasy Football Helper said, "Love it, y'all are awesome. Thank you." Hopefully that answered your question. Big Draft Energy, no cow moo tonight. They're missing the cow outfit, bro.
It's in the wash, man. I did find a new way of folding clothes that's changed my life. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. D-Walk said 12 by 12, 38 bench, best ball dynasty. How are you spending fab if it resets to 100 when the season starts? I spent 70 already on priority free agents that weren't drafted. Whew, man, what a team. 38 bench. Yikes. I mean, at 38 bench, like I like undrafted free agents. I think that they give you the most upside. During the season, sure, you can pick up like handcuffs and stuff, but during the season with that deep of a bench, you're like all the people that you would be saving your fab money to spend on are going to already be on rosters.
Yeah.
So I like what you're doing. I think we can kind of leave that one at that. Like but yeah, I think you're doing the right thing spending it now because everybody else is trying to hold on to it and you go for what? Right.
How does it even work? You pretty much have, so just by basic math, there's 318 offensive players in the league. A 38 bench, that's 456 people. That can't be right.
Spend your money. Right. Go spend some fab on Efton Chisholm and tell him Big Draft Energy sent you. Okay, so Panthers Ed said, "Am I stupid for wanting to take Genty over Justin Jefferson? If you're playing in this year's Scott Fish Bowl, maybe not. But what do you think, Steve? Is it dumb taking Genty over JJ?"
It's tough. I mean, we're talking. I'm assuming talking startup is what it sounds.
I think this was a redraft question.
If it's redraft, I don't hate it actually at all. If we're talking redraft, if it's dynasty, it's a little bit shaky depending on what your roster build looks like. How many receivers, running backs, flex, that kind of stuff will play a factor. Points per, all that stuff. So your format's going to change a little bit. If it's a startup, I actually still don't necessarily hate the move. It's just it is tough. I mean, I don't think it's a wrong move to go either way. I actually have gone through my dynasty rankings and wide receivers and kind of go through myself. I've almost dropped Jefferson down to 3 from the second spot because I still have Chase number 1 and Jefferson's right there at 2. But even then, I'm almost putting him at 3. I want to see how McCarthy is going to be this year. There's a lot of question marks with that, but he's so talented. Redraft, I'll take Genty because running backs are so hard. If we're talking dynasty, again, depending on your format, I don't hate it. It's really close. You can't go wrong with wide receivers in startup dynasties. But a young running back like Genty is hard to pass up in a startup.
Yeah, in a startup for sure. They're close. I think it depends on scoring for me. But we already know Genty's going to get fed. I do think that JJ is a little bit overhyped. I moved off of JJ in one league. I traded him away and racked up for somebody that we really haven't seen play yet. So, I don't hate it. So I don't think it's stupid. The fact that there's a little bit of a debate here means that you're in the right arena. So then just take the person that you really like. I will tell you this. I'm typically a hero running back guy because it feels like high end, like your big time running backs are a lot harder to get than, wide receivers. Like you think about it last year, McLaurin, you look at BTJ, like all those guys in redraft are going round 7 and later, so you can find a wide receiver that can put up the numbers you want to more than likely, or more than you can have a chance at finding a running back that's going to get the workload and potential numbers that Genty might get. So that's typically kind of how I look at it. Let's see. Make sure I get all these questions. Okay, Paul is Hawkinson and a first projected 1.7, 1.8 fair for Drake London. So here's the thing. Don't look at pick numbers, okay? One of my biggest things that I can recommend for you is try to attach a player name or a potential player name to that pick, right? So at 1.7, 1.8 this year, you're looking at, you could be looking at Travion Henderson. You could be looking at, I don't think Tet goes that far, but you may get wide receiver 2 out of the class. You could be looking at RJ Harvey. I think he's probably most often in that 1.7 to 1.8 role. So the question, would you trade Hawkinson and RJ Harvey, or Hawkinson and Caleb Johnson, Hawkinson and Jaden Higgins? Like, are you pairing those people to get Drake London? And I'm not out on that deal.
Which side do you want to be on, though?
If
I can get Drake London for that, I will send that every day of the week.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same. I haven't been a huge Drake London advocate personally.
You didn't see him dribbling a football like a basketball yesterday?
Like if say what?
You didn't see him dribbling a football like a basketball yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Man.
I wasn't at practice, man. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. But I think it's a good trade. Like, I think that's a fair trade. I could be in there, especially we just talked about JJ. He's pitching the ball to Hawkinson. I mean, I'm in. You can get Drake London. Drake London is still young. And if you're a Michael Penix believer, then you definitely love the trade. What do you think, Steve? Michael Penix believer? You love the trade?
I do like the trade. I like Drake London. I'll take that. It's funny. We talked about buys and sells. Hawkinson's one of those players I'm looking to move off of. He's still being ranked in the top 5 as far as tight ends. He's missed 26 games in the last 4 seasons. I don't want that. I'm moving off if I can. Keep that tight end 5. I'll move him. Like, get a player like this, I'll take it all day.
And Drake London's not even 24 yet.
No.
Yeah, that's
Mike fun. Let's get him out there.
All right, so big draft energy. Who would you rather have, or who would you bet on having an immediate impact year 1 in fantasy? Ooh. Shedeur, Milroe, or Dart? Go ahead.
I'll take this one. I'm a quarterbacks guy. I'm gonna say Shedeur. I'd have to say Shedeur.
I hate that take.
I agree.
I hate both of you. You're guests on my show, and I don't like it right now. What you doing?
It's Joe Flacco. Like what? It's Joe Flacco.
It's not just Joe Flacco though. He's got another quarterback that was drafted ahead of him.
Tiny hands.
Big hands. Kenny Pickett.
No, Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. It's not Kenny Pickett. Look, I don't hate it. I think, oh God, I think that the crowd will help Shedeur find a place to play, but I don't love that. I like their running game. I don't like their receivers. Like it just. I'll tell you what. I am more of the opinion that we could see, because Sam Darnold traditionally, when he is not behind a good offensive line, and he is currently not behind a good offensive line, struggles and gets injured. So I think Milroe has the closest shot to actual playing time because of injury possibilities or just the fact, I mean, Darnold's one of those guys, like he gets hit a couple times and he's like out of the game. He gets out of his head and he starts, playing garbage football, and with no protection, they let go pretty much of all, both of his top weapons, like it just, I think that he could get beat up. And the difference between Milroe and Darnold is Milroe can get it done with his legs. He doesn't have to have the receivers. And I think he just changes the game there. I think that he's got the quickest pathway to fantasy relevance for sure. But he would be my dark horse out of those three.
So you don't think the Giants will play Dart?
No.
Sure.
Have you seen Russell Wilson in camp?
I watched Russell Wilson in camp last year too. It's
and he took the Steelers to the playoffs.
You got Russ and you got Jameis. Don't forget about Jameis. Come on, give that man credit.
There's
no way
Jameis's credit is he's nice. Like and Jameis's credit is he's not scared to
crazily cleaned up his image. F that dude.
Jameis will
funny. He's still a terrible person. Screw him.
Look, they
Jameis
will put
Jameis as wide receiver 1 this year if he started all season.
They have got to let Dart sit for a year. They have to.
I agree. I don't disagree with you, but I'm just curious, like if that's the hesitation. I would probably pick Milroe as well, just for the rushing. I don't see it in Shador.
But it's okay, Chris. You're the quarterback guy, and if you say Shador, look, he's the quarterback guy. Take his advice. I just don't like it.
I mean, he has the best chance of starting week 1, if nothing else.
I'm looking at the path, and I mean, Sam Darnold played pretty good in Minnesota. I'm not saying
Minnesota has a great offensive line.
I get it. No. Now, if the question were who would be
great wide receivers,
that's a man finish.
I would definitely say I'm much more on the Milroe side of all three when it comes to the potential in fantasy. I'm not a big Dart guy, so I think Dart was severely overhyped, and he's a one-trick pony, and he plays the play-action pass, deep ball perfectly. But when it comes to short and intermediate, I'm out on him. But I'm just looking at the path, and I see Shador as he's an easier path to get in there.
Yeah. Look, we've got to move on to another question. 1, we're using up time. 3, we lost like 8 watchers. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, Mom.
We're all here for a good time. Make sure you drop those questions in the chat. Man, some doozies tonight. I'm loving it. Okay, Keeper League. PPR, I have CD, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. Okay, so the question is, you keep one or
the hard part is with keeper leagues, it depends on the rules of the keeper league, right? Because if it's like, it's going to be in the round that you get them in, then like Chase Brown might be the move because you probably took him pretty late last year. But if it's that was for the old question about, he's saying about
with Genty
over Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's a keeper league and you don't have to. I mean, sure.
Well, that's the other thing. If it's a keeper league and Genty does what everybody thinks he's going to do,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that take. I mean, you got CD.
Yeah.
So don't hate that either. Okay. Mark G, I have a pending trade. Give up Justin Jefferson, ouch, and Justin Herbert, ouch, to get back Stroud, Nico, Rice, and a 26th second and a 27th first. Why am I so damn hesitant?
Because of the names.
You want me to hit the button for you? We could do it together. Because, I mean, you basically get at least the value that you're getting back, and you could get, like, someone super sick in 2027. That's, like, an immediate win. Like, that's a win now, win later thing. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't hate the trade. I think Justin Herbert and Stroud are pretty similar as far as quarterback value. So then it's just, would you really trade JJ for Nico Rice, a first and a second?
Yes.
Yep. You got to do
Especially
it.
with that first.
There you go, Mark G. I just hate
Big G after that move.
Well, 2027 is a good year to get a first.
Before he got that draft pick, he was little G, but now he's big G because that's making moves.
All right. So while we're waiting on some more questions to pop in the chat, let's talk. Let's talk that buy sell arena, but let's get a little hot with it. Okay. So like, who's somebody right now? Okay, Chris, and you're shaking your head like you're excited, man. Like,
you're gonna throw him off of the show.
Wait till the hot take comes. We haven't even gotten to the hot take yet.
Well, let's just go there then. Give me something hot. Like, let's get the audience riled up. I want them yelling at you. Give me something hot.
Listen, if it's anything that I can do, I can get the Twitter world yelling at me. I believe the wide receiver one of the Las Vegas Raiders is going to be Deontay Thornton by the end of the season. I will say that.
You know what's funny is I actually think everyone should go buy Jacoby Myers right now.
I would say the same thing. I love Jacoby Myers. How dare you, Chris? How dare you?
Look, hold on a second. Let me help. Let me back Chris up a little bit here. Outside of Jacoby Myers, give me an A-type receiver, like an outside guy, a big, fast, because Deontay Thornton is like Calvin Johnson size, right? And he's fast. Like who else on their offense can be in that role, right? He's really kind of by himself in that arena. So there's definitely a pathway. I mean, if Geno can feed DK, why can't he feed Deontay Thornton? There's nobody else that can do that role.
Yeah, but Brock Bowers, man. Yeah, Brock Bowers is that guy.
Yeah, but you're not going to win
Brock
off of a
Bowers is not a deep sideline.
Listen, if Brock Bowers got some plugs and had a sick fade, we would not be having this conversation.
Oh
look at the Chiefs.
Get out of here.
Look, the Chiefs have made a living off of doing that with Mahomes and Kelsey, and it's already dead. It's dying out. You cannot live off of just a tight end alone. I mean, the only other quarterback to do it was Tom Brady and Gronkowski. I mean, and Geno's not that guy. We got
Antonio Gates.
And but Antonio Gates had Phillip Rivers. We're talking about, and Bowers is good. I'm not discrediting Bowers at all. That's not all what I'm doing. But Geno Smith, like, come on, man.
Geno does not have a history of feeding his tight end. I can tell you that. They're going to have to put Brock Bowers in the slot so Geno can see him.
Name the tight end that he had, though.
That's true. That's a true point.
Hold on a second.
Respect Will Dissly, bro.
Did forget about Will Dissly. I don't know what tight ends he's had in.
They currently have Noah Fant.
Noah Fant was the tight end that he really had, as far as
I'm just trying to think Seattle.
Yeah.
They had like Barner. They had
Jimmy Graham briefly.
Yeah, they did.
That's who I was saying, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah,
which is a pretty.
That was like Jimmy Graham.
Have. I mean, Fant's not awful though. Like, let's not.
Fant's a good real life player, but he hasn't lived up to the Iowa hype.
Either way, Geno doesn't feed his tight ends. Like it does. Even if you feed your tight end, you feed your tight end. Like, whether it's Travis Kelce or Noah Gray, like Pat Mahomes hits his tight end. You know what I mean? Like it just depends, on the player.
Geno Smith's deep ball accuracy, it's 12.4% in big time throw rate. I don't know. I'm just not a big Jacoby Myers.
Look, here's the deal. It's not a bad take. It's possible, but I do agree because of this take. Jacoby Myers is cheap. Mm-hmm. He is cheap, but in the same vein, if you look at draft spot, Thornton is if Myers is cheap, Thornton is free. He's free. So I mean, if I have to choose, like you look at the people going at Thornton's range, if I have to choose between. And going in Myers' range, if I choose between Myers and T, which T is probably a little bit before Myers, but like that range of wide receiver, I don't know. Like Pickens, would you rather have Pickens or Myers? Like they're in the similar range.
Pickens, just because of the offense.
Is a better player.
Yeah. So okay. We digress from that. And speaking of Pickens, Mark G. How do y'all feel about
Big G, just right into
could give up T. Higgins and Jonnu to get Pickens and Chase Brown. Smash the button, smash the button, smash the button. Do it. Don't you make that face like this is something to think about, Joe?
No, it's no. That's not it. It's just why like is that person offering that? Like, that's just a very strange trade.
Maybe they love some T. Higgins.
Look, T. Higgins will be fine. He'll have a good season, but Pickens can easily put up the same numbers, and I would much rather have Chase Brown than Jonnu.
Well, yeah, Jonnu could end up on the Steelers come September. It'll be the tight end 4. It'll be running.
I definitely don't want Jonnu if he goes to the Steelers. Ugh, that's gross.
What do you mean? It'd be with Arthur Smith. That's perfect.
Yeah, for what?
He loves Jonnu Smith.
Because you have Pat Freiermuth who become the new Kyle Pitts, so they wouldn't throw it to him again.
Mark G.
Big G.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Anytime somebody steps up and throws us a super chat, much appreciated. Thank you, sir. All right, Steve. We got a little bit of juice. We got Thornton from Chris. Give me something juicy.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily juicy, but if we're talking like, moving on from some players, I'm selling James Cook right now as fast as I can. I mean, he's right now in most rankings being right outside or just before RB10. I get it. He finished RB8 last year, but he had way less touches than he had in 2023. And the only reason he was RB8 last year was because he had 16 touchdowns. That is not going to happen every single season. So cut that in half, and he's like in the RB16 range. Yeah, he's being treated heavily. And then you still have Ray Davis, who I thought actually could end up taking up that starting spot if the way James Cook is treating this offseason. So I'm getting rid of him as fast as I can. His value is still strong. I'm moving it.
I like it.
Can I piggyback off of that, Steve?
Yeah, do it.
Actually, one of my players today was Ray Davis. So I definitely agree with you, hands down.
There's not a scenario that I'm leaving without him in redraft this year. Just with the holdout for James Cook being a smaller guy, like it just screams like injury risk or struggling out the gate. And then Ray Davis is like that late round, like dart throw. Like you don't need 4 wide receiver 3s on your team. Like go for lottery picks. Go get Ray Davis. Like,
well, Ray Davis can take the touchdowns. He can take easily 6, 7, 8 of those touchdowns.
Like,
he had 6 of them last season.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I think it's juicy. I think that and also you look at it like when you think of it from an NFL team perspective, right? If I have James Cook on my team and we're in a contract year, I kind of like I want to use Ray Davis. Like I want to put him in there. I want to see him do work. I want to see what he's capable of. I want him to lower James Cook's price for me because right now James Cook believes he should be the top paid running back in the NFL, and I ain't paying him that. Like, let me just roll with Ray Davis. Like, I'm good. Like it's not like Ray Davis was garbage or like coming out of college. We didn't know that what Ray Davis was capable out of Kentucky. Like, he's a good player, and you could go get somebody cheap. Like I'm good. I like it. I'm on a sell James Cook roll as well. And then I do like the Ray Davis deep take. That's good. That's good stuff right there. Elijah Moore finally has a good quarterback. How do you think he performs? Yeah, I'm like, for me, this is one of those things. Like, this is one of those things where the narrative hits and people are going, Elijah Moore, finally a good quarterback. Like he could be Jerry Jeudy. Like he could be Jerry Jeudy. Like all he had to do was go to the Browns, and all of a sudden he finished wide receiver 12. And I'm telling them that, like, if I'm trading with this, I'm like, Elijah Moore's on a new team. Look what Jerry Jeudy did last year. You put him with a new quarterback, it goes from wide receiver nothing to wide receiver 12. Yeah, and then like I am trading him for the moon. Like, you know what I mean? Like the best deal I can get on that narrative, I am taking. I'm smiling about it. And afterwards, I'm going over to Joe and I'm like, Joe, look what I did, bro. Oh my God, this is murder.
I'm like, oh no, I'm the one that accepted that.
Yeah. it just like you got to be careful of the narratives. Like, sure, there's potential there. Like there's potential that he could find rebirth and be relevant. But if essentially you're taking somebody that you're saying could find relevance, could be possible, just trade him for somebody that's already possible. Go trade Elijah Moore for Cortland Sutton.
Well, the hard part about Moore is it's like I think that he does have talent. I think that he's a good football player. Is it going to be to the degree of Jerry Jeudy? No, but he wasn't of caliber of Jerry Jeudy when he got drafted either. But the hard part is it's like, where does he fit into that offense and how does he get the meaningful snaps to even get the targets? Because they're not going to play him over Shakir. They're not going to take out Keon Coleman because they play very different roles. So it's like, where does he fit in when you're going to have a lot of Kincaid in that offense as well? So I think that's the hardest part from like a fantasy relevance perspective. That's going to like crush that.
Joe, you're not supposed to say that because then they don't want to trade you the good player for Elijah Moore.
Well, let Paul's friends be watching the show, and then he can use your strategy and do good things.
Do good things.
I get where he's coming from, though. Elijah Moore has talent, but
he does. But in the other
stuff, do with him.
The other bad part of that is like Josh Allen. He just doesn't service his wide receivers that well. You know what I mean? Like. When do we see wide receiver ones in Josh Allen's offense?
Stephon Diggs.
But that was a different offensive coordinator, though. When they changed from Dorsey to their new OC, that whole offense changed.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I saw a comp for Shakir, and it was Cole Beasley. And it's like, I feel like that's, like, really good. And it's like, people might not, like, remember, like, peak Cole Beasley. Like, you're going to get 100 catches. Like, he was solid, consistent. Like, he's that guy. But is he an alpha? Like, no.
Right, so like you're saying Elijah Moore could like Diggs never once finished wide receiver 1. He did finish in the top 10, which is fine. But like
you're talking number 1. I thought you were saying like
Elijah Moore is Stephon Diggs' talent.
No.
Okay, so then it's irrelevant there. So then the comparison becomes, let's say Shakir, who you're saying is better than Moore. Shakir has not finished inside the top 30. In the 3 years he's played there, and with even the year without Diggs, he's still like last year he finished wide receiver 37. So it's like, is Elijah Moore gonna outplay him? So what's the ceiling for him? Are we going Elijah Moore is going to be wide receiver 60?
Well, he averages wide receiver 50, 55. So that's really what you're going to get out of him.
Right. And so for that, like if somebody's buying on the hype that he could produce, I mean, you could probably get a wide receiver 40 or wide receiver 33 out of them, somebody that they're not hyped on, You could go get, and not that you'd want to in Dynasty, but you could probably trade them for Adam Thielen. In redraft, I would rather have Thielen. You could probably trade him for Leggett. I'll take Leggett.
I would take Leggett too over Elijah Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
And Corey's saying, go Cowboys, giving you a little love, Steve. But see, that's the power of the narrative. Like, that's really it. Like, that's the power of the narrative. Like, you get something like that, and then all of a sudden, the deal is to churn, unless you're sitting here, Joe, and you really believe that Elijah Moore is going to give you wide receiver, like top 40 or top 35 wide receiver play, you're going to trade him for somebody that will give you top 30, top 35, wide receiver play.
I just would never make a trade like that because you're basically just bored and you're just like trading stuff that you don't want. It's like if you're like at lunch, like at school back in the day, and like you're like, hey, I got these vegetables. You want these vegetables? Like, no, we're both throwing the vegetables away. Like, we're not eating them. So it's like, what's the point? Like, just go do like a best ball draft on Drafters Fantasy or something. Like, I don't know.
But like, there is a world, like that's why this question is here. There is a world where it's a trade relevant question.
He's a great throw-in, yeah. Like it's like, you know what? You get Elijah Moore, like he might be able to do something.
But here's a narrative where he's maybe not a throw-in. Like maybe you're getting somebody less than 4.
I would trade him for Fab, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with Joe.
Why not? if you would trade him for Fab, and the narrative is he has a good quarterback and you can actually get a decent player out of him, there's no world where we're saying, yeah, hang on to Elijah Moore. That's going to be good because he's with Josh Allen.
Can I be devil's advocate, though?
I love it. Go.
So here's the pitch for Elijah Moore if you're going to try to sell him. All right. The last 2 seasons, he's averaged over 100 targets. Now, his catch rate's low, but he also had horrible quarterbacks.
You just unsold me.
No. Think about the quarterback play. That's what the whole pitch is. You had Josh Allen now, right? If he can get anywhere near that 100 targets like he did the last 2 seasons, but with a better quarterback, I mean, you know who had similar targets last season? Lad McConkey, Mike Evans.
Shakir had 100 targets last season, and he caught 76 of them and still finished 37. Give me Moore's catch percentage. It's less than 76%.
Yeah. But some of it is the quarterback play. You got to give some of that to him.
But I here's the thing. I'm with you. That's what I'm telling somebody that I'm trading Elijah Moore. I'm like, look, he's at this. And so I got to get my value if I'm going to dish him because he could actually produce this year. Like and they're asking me for him because they believe he can produce. Right. And so like, I'm dealing them. Period.
You pull off a trade and sell Elijah Moore. I'll give you an award for that.
I was going to pick him up in every league.
I'm going to trade him for Darnell Mooney. They had very
Chris, do not doubt me. I promise you, it will happen. You don't know what I do for a living outside of this. It's okay. Trust me, it would happen.
I can't wait to review it next week on the show.
Oh God, I'm like,
make that happen. Make that trade happen this week.
I'm trying to think of a team that I have Elijah Moore on. If not, I could probably grab him off waivers.
Exactly.
Let me grab him off waivers, and I will tell you what I get for him. I will. I will take this on. Put it in the chat. Somebody type it in the YouTube chat so I can go back to it. And I will, in next week's show, I will let you know what we traded Elijah Moore for, and it. See, now I'm going to be on vacation next week, so I actually have time. I have time to invest in this trade. It is going to be – I'm going to kill somebody.
I think we all should do that and report back with what we've got.
I just picked up Elijah Moore. I'm trading him for Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, that's a great trade. In redraft, that's a great trade.
All I kept hearing was the vegetable reference Joe was saying.
All right, look – man, what a show. We didn't even get to – does anybody have a hot take that just needs to be dropped in this show? Like a mic dropper at the end of it, something that the audience is going to hit the chat after this with?
Like how someone finishes or just some good, what are you thinking? Because I've got some good.
Just a good one, like a good hot take, like whether it be how somebody finishes, whether it be this person is a sell now, whether it be this person is a buy. And I know it's crazy because they like whatever it is, like, kind of what would be,
I've got
your
a player
flag plant. Say what?
I've got a player to sell, but I mean, I don't know. I think Steve might would agree with me on this one, though. Me and him kind of.
Is it Bo Nix?
It is Bo Nix.
I don't want any Bo Nix on my teams.
Fair enough. So it's not that hot then. All right.
People think I'm crazy too because I get it.
Me too.
But I'm not doing it.
I see major regression. I don't see where they've done anything to help them outside of signing a 30-year-old tight end. Again, I'm not a big Cortland Sutton fan, and you know how I feel about Mims. I just don't. I don't see it. But anyways,
he did it last year with Les. That's all I'm saying.
He's
not that I'm on Nick's hype or anything, but he did it last year with Les.
Yeah, listen, NFL defenses, they get tape and they will adapt, and you're going to see a different Bo Nix in this season.
I don't doubt that. That's why we always see the sophomore slump. Joe, you got anything hot?
I mean, sticking on the quarterback year 2 players that I would sell, I think that Drake May is a little bit too high right now. He's currently ranked as like QB7, and he has nothing to show for it. It's like for me, like I would tier down, so I'd have whoever else who's probably gonna have on par or a better season than him, and then get that player plus. Give me Jordan Love plus. Give me, I don't know, like it's just insane, like what you can get from like.
I like that.
I've been buying a lot of Bryce Young.
Bryce Young's a cheap buy. That's a good buy.
A cheap buy. You're able to get more. Like if you, for example, if you got rid of a Drake May, I can get Bryce Young plus something for Drake May, and I'll take.
You could probably get Bryce Young and
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, that's a throw. That's a gimme. You could probably get Bryce Young and I don't think you could get Tet and Bryce Young.
You could probably get like Ricky Pearsall.
I would do that. I like that. That's
Bryce Young. People, man, after he got benched last year, he was on a tear, and now you add Tet into that. Oh, man, he was phenomenal. He was averaging almost 20 points a game the last like 7 to 8 games. No one even cares, and I'm buying him.
I agree.
I don't hate it. I was trying to look. I just did a trade. I traded away J.J. McCarthy in a league. Hold on a second.
Yeah, get rid of him.
How does everybody feel about J.J. McCarthy?
As soon as I saw in the national championship preview, they were talking about, oh, I don't wear shoes on the field so I can get grounded. I was like, you are not going to make it as an NFL player.
The only thing that gives him some type of chance is the fact that you've got a good head coach in Kevin O'Connell.
Fantastic coach.
He will absolutely support him and get him in the right position. You got 2 really great receivers. Hawkinson. I mean, he
has the perfect setup to walk into for sure.
He should easily be a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year. There's no doubt, but I don't think he does it.
Okay, so I just traded JJ McCarthy in a league. Okay, and we'll kind of.
I'm anxious. I'm just like so like worried about this person. Like, what have you done to them?
No, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad, kind of. So I traded away J.J. McCarthy and Will Levis. This is in a super flex league. And I traded him for, and granted, I needed quarterbacks. I'm low at quarterbacks. I need starting quarterbacks.
I'm already mad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's actually a good trade.
When you say it's not that bad, it makes us nervous.
I got Russell Wilson.
Done. You won.
I got Tua. I got Trey Benson. I got a 25 first, which was Jackson Dart. So I locked in the Giants quarterback room. And I got a 26 first.
Oh, yeah. You're good. Yeah.
So I shifted JJ and Levis for the Giants quarterback room, Tua, Benson, and another first.
Someone actually took Levis?
Yeah, that's just the party. Like, I would have vetoed that out of principle at that point.
No, man, that was just a throw-in.
The other thing that's really nice about that, though, 2026.
Here's the thing. This is what's crazy. That's the JJ hype. That's JJ McCarthy hype.
Like, I agree with that.
I got 2 quarterback rooms, a first in 2026, which is the quarterback draft, and Trey Benson.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I got 3 quarterbacks for the price of 1.
I'm still dying to know Steve's hot take here. He almost announced it and then stopped.
It's not too hot. Don't worry about it. Besides the fact that Dak is going to finish as QB1 this year.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
We got somebody in the chat. Brian Harwood said, hello there. I would like to see if any of you would like to attend a Fantasy Football Live in-person draft just north of Nashville in August for a $10,000 grand prize. Well, look, here's the deal. I'm only 2 hours south of Nashville. So don't tempt me with a good time because I will come for your $100,000 grand prize, bro. No. Hey, look, thank you guys for tuning in. Chris, Steve, Joe, thanks for popping on the show. You guys, well, Joe, you're here with me every week. But Chris and Steve, thank you for gracing us with your presence. And, man, appreciate it. Lots of juicy stuff. He said, Tyler, I will tell you more about it. Good show tonight. Appreciate it. Just DM me on Twitter. My handle's right there. Thank you for popping the show. Make sure you hit that like and sub button. And again, you guys know every Friday, 9 o'clock Central, right here from the forum. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation, and my wife has banned me from fantasy for at least 1 week, which means my guy Joe is going to be hosting this bad boy. And look, when I let Joe loose on hosting, it's one of those things where, like, there's no telling what's going to happen.
So it's a 3-hour show?
I don't know if it's a 3-hour show. I don't know if he shows up in a cow suit. I don't know if he invites all of his friends that he goes to the disco with on the weekends. There's literally no telling.
It's going to be fun. I'm thinking Scott Fishbowl talk. We got to do it before I draft.
So, in other words, make sure you're here next week, 9 o'clock Central from the forum. Appreciate you. See you later.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.